Hi there YouTube, Wes here checking in. Happy New Year. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you all had a wonderful holiday season. Hope you had a great new year. Hope you're ready to dive into 2023 and see what it has to offer for us. But this first video for the new year is going to be all about looking back at the year that 2022 was in music. And I wanted to sort of count down my top 10 albums of the year, give you a few runner-ups, as well as go back and revisit all the albums I purchased in the last year. Some of these you did see here on the channel, some of these you didn't because I bought them on CD. But I just wanted to recap all the albums I bought over the year because I did buy, it turns out I bought 34 brand new albums that were released in 2022 last year. So good list of stuff. So let's go ahead and start off by recapping the 34 albums I picked up in the year 2022. And we're going to go ahead and do this by release date. So starting off the very first week of the new year of 2022, I picked up the new album, the newest album from The Weeknd titled Dawn FM. I believe that it dropped a week or so earlier. So yeah, great pop album by The Weeknd, and that was the first album I bought in 2022. Then we get up to January 21st, and we have the group Years and Years with Night Call, released on January 21st. And released on February 11th, we have Amos Lee with Dreamland, good sort of singer-songwriter album. Next up on February 18th, we have Beach House with their album titled Once, Twice, Melody. Latest one from the group Beach House. And then on February 25th, we have three albums that came out. I didn't necessarily buy these on the release day, but they were all released on the same day. The first one being Tears for Fears with their somewhat surprise album to a lot of us, The Tipping Point. Again, on February 25th, we have the group Bad Omens with their album Death of Peace of Mind. I picked that one up. Okay, and then the final release we have for February 25th was Dashboard Confessional with The Truth That I Can Tell. All right, moving on into March now. We have one from March 18th, and that is the new one from Charlie XCX titled Crash. And then next on March 25th, we have the new one by Machine Gun Kelly, Mainstream Sellout. Then going into April, on April 1st, we have Red Hot Chili Peppers with their album titled Unlimited Love, and it turned out to not be an April Fool's joke. Moving on to April 8th, we have three albums again that were released on April 8th that I ended up purchasing at some point in the year. The first one we have is the new one from Orville Peck titled Bronco. That one came out on April 8th. The next one that was released on April 8th was another surprise this year and one that a lot of people liked, and that was the new one, or the first album from the group Wet Leg. Their self-titled album, Wet Leg. And then the final one for April 8th was the album from Jack White titled Fear of the Dawn. I believe he released actually two albums during the year. That one came out on April 8th. Okay, so now we're moving on to April 22nd. Again, another release day with three albums that I picked up over the course of the year. First one being Hatchie with their album titled Giving the World Away, nice Australian pop artist. Next one, we have the latest one from the Fontaines DC with their album Skinty Fa. And the last one for April 22nd was the new one from Pusha T titled It's Almost Dry. All right, next up, we're moving on to the month of May, and I have a couple releases from May 13th that I picked up, and that was, the first one was by the Black Keys and their album titled Dropout Boogie. And another one from May 13th was the new one from Florence and the Machine titled Dance Fever. Picked that one up. All right, then the next release date we have is from May 20th, and I picked up two albums from May 20 that were released on May 20th. The first one is the latest one from Harry Styles, Harry's House, and yeah, we've been hearing stuff from that album ever since. It's been all over the charts, all over the radio, as well as the new one by the electronic artist Flume titled Palaces. That also came out on May 20th, and I picked that one up. Moving on to the month of June, I only picked up one released on the month of June, and I picked this was released on June 17th, and that is the latest one by Perfume Genius titled Ugly Season. Really cool, sort of different piece for Perfume Genius, and was a pretty good album this year. Moving on to the month of July, had quite a few pickups in the month of July. The first one happened on July 8th with the electronic artist Caterina Barbieri with their album Spirit Exit. And then we have on July 15th, we have Lizzo with their album Special. And then on July 29th, Beyonce dropped Renaissance. All right, and then for the month of August, nothing was released that I ended up picking up, so we're going to move on to the month of September. On September 16th, we have Fletcher with Girl of My Dreams. And on September 23rd, we have The Comet Is Coming with their Hyperdimensional Expansion Beam. Yeah, really cool mixture of jazz and electronica. All right, moving on to the month of October. I did have two pickups on October 7th. The first one being the new one from Charlie Puth, titled Charlie. And another one from the collaboration supergroup sort of thing. The new one from the group Broken Bells and their album titled Into the Blue. And then on October 14th, I have two releases as well. The first one from Brian Eno, Forever and Ever No More. And the one from the pop artist Tove Lo, or Tuvalu, if you like. Their album titled Dirt Femme. And then next up, we have two releases from October 21st. The first one being Taylor Swift with the album Midnights. And then Carly Rae Jepsen also released a new album titled The Loneliest Time. And then last but not least, in November, we have November 17th with Brockhampton with their final album, supposedly The Family. That wraps it up for my pickups for the year of 2022. So since those were the albums I actually purchased physical copies of, those were the albums I spent the most time with. Those have the most chance of being in my top 10, in my best of for the year. And yeah, I've sort of made it a thing where I don't give an album a top 10, best of kind of ranking unless I've actually purchased a physical copy of it, if it's available on physical media of some sort, either CD or vinyl. So we're going to go ahead and get into the best of what I picked up, what my favorites were. Everybody has their own opinion on what's the best, but these are my favorites. I've got 5 runner-ups for you to start off with. The runner-ups are in no particular order, and then the top 10 will do a countdown. And I will also mention I've created a playlist of all 15 of these albums, one track from each album. Did a nice mix of some stuff that works together, I feel, pretty well. It's here on YouTube. It's in YouTube Music. I think everybody has access to that, hopefully. I know I have YouTube Premium, and I have access to YouTube Music, and I think it's available to anybody. Just might have an ad or two. But yeah, I got a playlist. I'll link that up in the down below, show notes, that kind of thing, so you can listen to the playlist and hear a track from each of these albums. The track that I thought worked well in a mix. So enjoy that mix, and let's go ahead and get into these runner-ups. So the first runner-up I have is, in fact, the new one from Beach House, Once Twice Melody. Yeah, great new one from Beach House. Really enjoyed listening to this, been enjoying listening to it. If you've enjoyed Beach House in the past, you're probably going to enjoy this one. And that is my first runner-up. Second runner-up is by Brian Eno, Forever and Ever No More. Great electronic album by Brian Eno. Really, really enjoyed listening to this one. Lots of killer sounds on here if you're into very textural kind of electronic music. Really good. And he actually sings on here, which is nice. So that is a runner-up as well. And then another runner-up, the new one from Beyonce. Yeah, she killed it again. Another great album by Beyonce. This one was a jam. Definitely enjoyed hearing this. And yeah, it's definitely another great one by Beyonce. So that's another runner-up for me. Been enjoying listening to that one quite a bit. All right, the next runner-up I have for you is Hatchie's Giving the World Away. Really cool new electronic, or not necessarily electronic, but an Australian dream pop artist. Really good, enjoyable album. It's kind of a blind buy, bit of a surprise for me. Something I had seen and then stumbled across in a store and went in and picked it up, and I've been really enjoying it quite a bit. So Hatchie's Giving the World Away definitely gets a thumbs up for me, and I'm excited to see what they do in the future. All right, and then my last runner-up is the new one by Taylor Swift, Midnights. Yeah, it's good. It's solid album by Taylor Swift. Really enjoyable, and that is my final runner-up for the year. Taylor Swift's Midnights. Okay, so here we go. Let's get into the top 10 here. Coming in at number 10, we have Orville Peck with Bronco. Yeah, just another great release from Orville Peck. If you're not familiar with Orville Peck, he's sort of a country artist in the sort of tenor of like a Roy Orbison kind of, huge voice, really sensual kind of country artist. Really did enjoy this album this year. And yeah, that is my number 10 pick, country artist Orville Peck. Really enjoyed listening to this one this year. Solid album. All right, next up, coming in at number 9, we have the somewhat surprise, at least a surprise to me, the latest, well, not the latest, the first album from 2022 by the 90s group, late 80s, early 90s group, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Unlimited Love. Yeah, this was a surprise to me. John Frusciante is back in the band. Rick Rubin is producing, and they just made some great music here. I was like, wow, the Chili Peppers are back. This was so much fun. I did pick up the second album they released last year, just about a week ago. Did not sort of include it in this list because I bought it in 2023 and I haven't really spent much time with it. So, but yeah, I did pick that up, so I'm going to dive into that one. I'm looking forward to diving into that more. But yeah, this one, Unlimited Love, caught me off guard and it really wowed me. So that's why it falls in my top 10. 2022 Red Hot Chili Peppers, Unlimited Love, coming in at number 9. Okay, coming in at number 8, we have the only hip-hop album to make the list, the only hip-hop album I really bought for the most part. No, there was a couple, but this one is the latest one by Pusha T. It's Almost Dry. Yeah, excellent. Another excellent album by Pusha T. He just keeps putting out great album after great album after great album. Really enjoyed this one a lot. Killer artist. So if you're into hip hop and you have not heard this new one from Pusha T, check it out. It was a really good album. All right, next up, coming in at album number 7 on my top 10 list was the newest one by the group Broken Bells. Killer indie rock electronic group. Really, they made a really spacey kind of almost prog kind of album here. Really good album. Really solid. I definitely spent a lot of time spinning this, listening to it. Really good album by them. So Broken Bells, Into the Blue, coming in at number 7 on my best of 2022 list. Next up, coming in at number 6, we have Perfume Genius with their album Ugly Season. Very, very different album for Perfume Genius. They're known for doing more sort of indie pop kind of music. But this is an album of compositions done for an interpretive dance, and it's very moody, it's very dramatic. They're using their voice as like an instrument a lot of the time, so it's not necessarily straight ahead sort of lyrics with music. It's really, really an interesting album. Very, very as I said, very moody, very dramatic, very powerful kind of music. And I really did like it quite a bit. Even though I do like the poppier stuff that Perfume Genius does, this one was really, really good. And yeah, I was quite impressed, and I spent a lot of time listening to this one as well. So number 6 on my top 10 list, Perfume Genius with Ugly Season. Okay, next up, coming in at number 5, we have the electronic artist Caterina Barbieri with their album Spirit Exit. Killer ambient electronic music. The cover kind of tells you what you need to know about the music. It's very washy. It's very just ethereal, spiritual kind of electronic music, and I really, really dug this album quite a bit. Beautiful artwork as well. Nice gatefold. So yeah, number 5, Caterina Barbieri with their album Spirit Exit. Okay, coming in at number 4 on my top 10 list. This one ended up on a lot of people's lists. I've watched a few other YouTubers so far talk about their top 10 albums, and yeah, this one definitely ranked high among a lot of us, and that was the self-titled debut release by Wet Leg. Yeah, this just hella catchy, sort of poppy, punky kind of new wave-ish kind of tunes here. Yeah, just great fun listen. Just really definitely something that really caught my ear this year. Spent a lot of time listening to and really, really enjoyed this one. So number 4, Wet Leg, self-titled. Okay, so we're down to the top 3, my favorite 3 albums of 2022. Coming in at number 3, we have The Comet Is Coming, and I'm gonna read this because it's a tough one. This one is Hyperdimensional Expansion Beam. I always seem to flub that title. Yeah, so The Comet Is Coming. It's a mixture of jazz and electronica, lots and lots of saxophone, and it just works. And it's spacey, it's rock and roll, it's electronic, it's just energetic. Yeah, I really, really dig this group. There's the gatefold, and there's the back. Probably should pick this up on vinyl because I do have the other Comet Is Coming albums on vinyl. They're on Impulse. Yeah, this was a great listen. Definitely highly recommend checking out The Comet Is Coming if you're into jazz, if you're into anything. It's great music. It is instrumental music, but it's just really, really energetic and fun and good, and I definitely dug this one quite a bit. So number 3, The Comet Is Coming, Hyperdimensional Expansion Beam. I think I got it right this time. Great album. Number 3 on my top 10 list of 2022. All right, so now we're down to the top 2. Coming in at number 2, my second favorite album of 2022. That is the debut album by Fletcher, Girl of My Dreams. This is a perfect pop album. Everything from the cover art to the music to the lyrics. Really an excellent, excellent pop album. Hatchie is a queer artist, and these songs are unapologetically queer and really, really kind of a coming of age as a queer person kind of album, talking about first loves, being in love with someone who doesn't love you back, those kind of things, finding yourself, finding out who you are, and then being an adult and sort of thinking about that time period when you were growing up, and trying to, at the last track is For Carrie, which is Carrie is Fletcher's first name, is Carrie Fletcher is her name, or their name, and it's a song to her younger self, or to their younger self, talking about it gets better. You're gonna be able to love someone, those kind of things. Just a very empowering, special album to me personally, and I really did love this album. It's great musically, great lyrically. And yeah, as I said, the cover art is great. So that is my number 2 album for 2022. Fletcher, Girl of My Dreams. Okay, so last, but, well, it is the least. Well, it's not the least, it's the last. This is the number 1 album, my number 1 album from 2022. Kind of a surprise, another one of those surprise ones from an artist you haven't heard from in a while. That's the new one from Tears for Fears and their album titled The Tipping Point. And yeah, this always doesn't work when an artist who hasn't been around for a while comes back. But this time it worked, and it worked in a big way. This is an excellent, excellent album of, pop stars who are of a certain age, and they're still making great music. They're showing here that they still can make great music, and the subject matter may change, their voices may change, but at the end of the day, it's still just awesome, awesome music, and I definitely dug this through and through. Really enjoyed listening to this one. Tears for Fears, The Tipping Point, my number 1 album for 2022. Nice gatefold there as well. So that does it for my best of 2022. I recapped all the albums I picked up over the year. Let me know in the comments section down below what were some of your favorite albums of the year. Thank you very much for watching. Leave me some comments. Have a great day, great night. Here's to a great 2023. Let's get out there and hopefully we get some new releases coming pretty soon. Thanks for watching. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy some great music. And we'll see you again real soon. Cheers.